right, I'm going to show you how to make an I-cord. I-cords are most commonly 3 or 4 stitches. For this, I'm just going to use 3 stitches. And you're going to start by casting on however you like to cast on. I'm going to do long tail. Cast on your 3 stitches. All right, so you've got your 3 stitches on your needle, and you're actually going to start by slipping all 3 stitches to your left needle. So now your working yarn is on the left, and you are, even though this feels a little weird, you're just going to knit across your 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then repeat. So I'm slipping purlwise my 3 stitches to my left needle, and then I'm knitting them. Again, slipping purlwise, 1, 2, 3, and then knitting them, 1, 2, 3. What we're actually doing here is knitting in the round. But because you only have 3 stitches, you can't obviously use, well, I guess you could use double pointed needles, but that would be a little crazy. You don't need to. So what's happening here is the yarn on the left here is actually being forced to come around the back when you start knitting this first stitch. So that's where your join is. Now, I also want to show you, a lot of people like to do this with double pointed needles. I tend to do everything with circulars, but with I-cords this can be handy. So I'm going to just move this over to my double pointeds so I can show you. All right, so what I was doing before, I can continue doing, slipping these 3 stitches to the left needle and then knitting them. But let me show you the trick with double pointed needles. Instead of slipping, I can just slide my stitches to the other side of the needle and see the working yarn is on the left now. So see this little piece of I-cord we've made? And you can see you have 1 column of stitches here, 1 here, and the other one's here. So you're basically creating a tube in stockinette. It's only 3 stitches around. I'm going to show you a little bit more. Knit, 2, 3, and I'm going to slide. Let me show you with the yarn in my right hand. Same exact thing. Knit, 2, 3, and slide. I'm going to get them back onto my circulars since that's what I like to use. So, of course, on the circular, I could slide here too if I want to, right? Yeah, whatever you prefer. Makes no difference. Or if you don't want to slide, you can slip. Obviously, if you're using straight needles, slipping is your only option. All right, I'm going to just switch back to Continental because I'm more comfortable that way. But I want to show you now how you would bind off if you were done. So what you're going to do, knit the first 2, and just like any typical bind off, grab the first stitch and pull it over the second, and you've bound off 1 stitch. Knit the next stitch and repeat. And then you would just snip your yarn and pull it through this final loop, and you'd have your little piece of I-cord. You can actually see I have some loosey-goosey stitches in here. You can neaten that up by just tugging on the neighbor. And when you weave in your ends, you can actually just go right inside this tube and make it disappear. So that's how you make an I-cord.